Hello everyone and welcome to Grammar Lesson 3. We'll start today's notes like we will start the notes every day. At the top of your page if you would right now, or it doesn't have to be at the top of the page, could be at the end of where your last notes left off, whatever you prefer. But this, you do need to have the date, put the word date down, a colon, and then the month, the day, and the year. Across from that, put down the word lesson and number 3. We're on lesson number 3. Once you have that down, skip a line, put the word nouns with an N period in parentheses. That's the abbreviation we'll be using from nouns when we do our 4-level analysis. If you remember in lesson 1, we talked about the overview of what grammar is. In lesson 2, we took a look at all the different parts of speech that exist within level 1 of grammar. So now we're going in even further. We're going to take a look at the first part of speech, the first of 8 parts of speech today, and nouns. So after the word nouns, you're going to skip a couple lines. You're going to put this in the middle of your page. Every noun must be. I want you to underline all of that, and I want you to put asterisks around the word must. Every noun must be. I'm going to move it so that the last note is at the top of my screen. After every noun must be, you're going to skip a line. And then you're going to want to pay special attention to the formatting here so that we have space later on. You're going to put the word common out toward the left-hand margin and underline it. The word or right in the middle. And the word proper over toward the right-hand side and underline that as well. Going to skip 2 lines and do the same for abstract. A-B-S-T-R-A-C-T, abstract. In the middle of the page, you'll put the word or again. And out to the right-hand side, concrete. C-O-N-C-R-E-T-E, concrete. So once again, beneath every noun must be, you're going to skip a line, put the word common, the word or in the middle, and proper off to the right. Skip a couple lines, put abstract, the word or in the middle, and concrete off to the right. Skip 2 more lines and put the word singular, S-I-N-G-U-L-A-R, S-I-N-G-U-L-A-R, singular, or put the word plural, P-L-U-R-A-L. Now, just so those stand out from the rest of the notes later on, I want you to underline each of those 6 words. So underline common, proper, abstract, concrete, singular, plural. After that, I'd like you to skip 3 lines. Move the last note to the top of the page. You're going to skip 3 lines. And then you're going to put down every noun might also be. I want you to underline all that. I want you to put asterisks around the word might. Might also be. Every noun might also be. Underline that. Skip a line, put down a noun of direct address. I want you to underline noun of direct address and a colon. We'll have a definition in there later. And a collective noun with a colon. We'll have a definition for that as well. So once again, down at the bottom of the page here, you should have every noun might also be. That will be underlined. And then 2 different things. After skipping a line, put down a noun of direct address with a colon and a collective noun with a colon. Okay, so we're going to head up back to the top of the page. Okay, so here we are back at the top again. I'm going to move the notes down so that we have as much screen as possible. So you see here we already have the word nouns in. We have parentheses. That's their abbreviation for noun. So a noun, pretty simple here. This should be review. Write down what I am writing down. A noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. A noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. Some people will put down here that it's also an idea, but to me an idea is a thing, so we'll just keep it simple. We'll make it a noun as the name of a person, place, or thing. Now we're going to move down here. Every noun must be. So every time you find a noun in a sentence, it must be one of these two things in these different categories. So every noun that I see must be either common or proper. Rather than define these for you, I think it's much easier if I just show you examples of each. So here are some examples of common noun. For example, boy and girl. Okay, those are both common nouns. If I go over here to proper, let me show you two examples of proper nouns. Tom is a proper noun, and Sally is a proper noun. Now, proper nouns should be very easy to identify because they must be capitalized every time. So you'll notice both Tom and Sally are capitalized, boy and girl are not. Okay, now let's go down here to another example. Car is a common noun, and team is a common noun. So let me give you two proper versions of that. So a proper name for a car might be Ford Mustang. Ford Mustang, M-U-S-T-A-N-G, Ford Mustang. The proper name for a team might be Charlotte Bobcats. Ford Mustang and Charlotte Bobcats. Of course, you can put in your favorites there if you want. You like a different car, you like a different team, go ahead and put those in. Okay, so that's one idea, common and proper. Now, every noun must also be either abstract or concrete. So let's take a look at some abstract nouns first. Okay, here's an example of one. Freedom, or how about this? Anger. Those are both abstract nouns. I'll explain a little bit more in just a second, but let me give you two more examples. Patience and strategy. Okay, so rather than explain abstract, let me show you concrete here and see if you can make the connection. Here's an example of a concrete noun. Kitten. Or how about pencil? Two more examples here of concrete nouns. Rock and teacher. Okay, so let's take a look at these two, abstract and concrete. Okay, an abstract noun is something that is intangible, or you can't touch it, right? It has no substance to it. So for example, I could use in the sentence, the soldiers fought for freedom. In that case, freedom is a noun, but freedom is not something that they could pick up or toss. Okay? What I like to tell my students is basically the difference between abstract and concrete is a concrete noun, most cases, most of the times you could throw it through a window. So for example, rock over here is a concrete noun. And yes, kitten would be a concrete noun as well. And teacher as well, although I wouldn't recommend throwing either a kitten or a teacher through a window. Anyway, that's beside the point. The abstract nouns are things that are more like ideas. When you hear people define a noun as a person, place, thing, or idea, well, the idea ones are usually abstract nouns. Okay? So I'm going to move my last note to the top of the page. And let's fill in this last must be category of singular or plural. So underneath singular, let's use this example again. We have boy. So not only is boy singular, but it's also common. And let's use this one again. Girl. To make the plural of this, we say boys or girls. Let's use some different examples here. Let's use school. It's another example of singular. Also party is singular. The plural versions of that would be schools and parties. You'll notice that most of the time adding s to the end of a noun is going to make it plural, but in this case, like parties, we drop the y and add ies. Okay, so now we have every noun might also be. The key word there is might. I'm going to pull the notes to the top of the page. The key word here is might because like the 6 items before, a noun has to be one or the other. In this case, a noun might be this. All right, so a noun of direct address. So out here I want you to put to call someone by name is to use a noun of direct address. To call someone by name is to use a noun of direct address. This is also best explained by an example, so let me give you an example here. Tom, please sit down. Okay, in this sentence, Tom will be the noun of direct address. Tom, please sit down. You might also make the connection before we go on to collective nouns that a noun of direct address is always going to be either common or proper. Proper, right. It's going to be proper. So let's go on to collective nouns. This is a noun that sounds singular but I don't need a comma there. This is a noun that sounds singular but names a group of something. Again, a collective noun is a noun that sounds singular but names a group of something. So you remember in the plurals I said most of the time we make a plural noun, we just add s on the end. Well, let me give you an example here of a collective noun in a sentence. The flock flew south. The flock flew south. In this sentence, we have the noun flock, which is singular. There's no s on the end. But we all know that when we talk about a flock of something, we're not talking about just one, we're talking about many. So in this case, flock would be treated as a singular noun. That comes in that's very important later on when we start talking about subject-verb agreement. I'll give you just a minute to finish up those bottom notes there. I'll take us back to the top, but this does conclude the notes for the day. There's the top part one more time. And great. That's it for today. I'll see you at lesson 4.